Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can get caught up on some of the latest news that involves our favorite team in the NFL. That, of course, is the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes and subscribed to the channel, and to everyone who gets their voices heard down there in the viewer comments. Gotta tell you, folks, we have some big things in store the closer we get to the season. The folks at Fan Arch are already talking about live streams. We'll be doing those, and we'll have some exclusive content and some other things for you. So this is going to be a crazy season, folks, and we are going to do our best to cover it and infotain you actually and factually as best as we can. Okay, what's coming up on today's show? Well, one NFL talk show host says the Browns are doing something he thinks all of the NFL teams will eventually do. Also, our offensive line last year was downright offensive. So why are we going to just lean on them this year? Why can we expect that they're going to be good? We're also going to look at how much of a chance Dillon Gabriel has to succeed in the NFL, being undersized and left-handed. I'll show you what I found. And in the viewer comments, one viewer lays out the best case scenario for Shedeur Sanders this season. But first things first. The new Brown Stadium is either continuing a trend or more than likely going to start a trend in the NFL, and that is according to a lot of people. Remember, like Atlanta, they've kind of done this already, and, Dallas a little bit, but SoFi is a good example where you build the stadium and you build this, this entertainment district around it, and we're going to learn from everything that they've done and make ours even better. But Pat McAfee, who he has this show on ESPN, he's on College Game Day, he was a punter for the Indianapolis Colts. He had an interesting thing to say. He said, in Green Bay, the Packers have a museum and a Hall of Fame and some other blank that you come visit and make a trip out of it. If Cleveland does that, which we assume they will, with stores, hotels, everything else, then it's like you can make your Cleveland Browns football team your actual getaway as well, which is what all of these teams are trying to do. And, I don't disagree with them. We already know there's going to be shops and restaurants and hotels, and they're redoing the airport because of this. And so the goal then would be not only for for Browns games, it's going to be to generate revenue year round as opposed to just 8 days a year. We have some concerts and things down there at the stadium, but it's outdoors. You get into the wintertime and it's very limited. You really can't do much. They do some inside stuff in there, but not much at all. So they're going to turn this into a year-round event, and he expects more and more teams in the NFL to just keep doing this same thing. Now, football-related, Darius Butler, who is also on that show, is piggybacking off of what I said yesterday. Remember what I said? I think like the curse of Art Modell is buried in the ground underneath the stadium location where we've been playing, because the old stadium was there where, if you don't know where the Browns play now, that municipal stadium was in that same spot. They just tore it down and built this thing, which, everybody wanted a retractable roof and they didn't do that. And so now everybody's moving to Brook Park. But what Darius Butler said is this. He said, the blank they've been doing hasn't been working. So let's do it completely different. I know there are some people who just love football indoors in a controlled climate. I'm a fan of outdoor weather, the elements, especially when you're playing in a division like the Browns are. But anytime you build a new facility, you're going to bring new people in and boost the economy. This is big for Cleveland. And yeah, it is. And so, the other thing is this. Maybe this is what you need, right? You got to change it up, right? You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and, expect it to get better, right? And so why not? Change of scenery, change of everything, new stadium, new life. I have no problem with that. And like I said yesterday, the majority of Browns fans are in the same boat. The city had multiple chances to do something to keep the Browns downtown. But now, we're going to have this new stadium. And so It seems like people around the NFL are on board with it too. So we shall see. Now, one thing we don't want to see, but we're going to look at it, is the Browns' offensive line stats from 2024. They were just downright offensive, not good at all. But all is not lost, folks. Here, let's take a look at this first. So here's the Browns' offensive line, right near the bottom of the NFL in almost every category. So Pro Football Focus had them, no linemen earned a grade above 66.2, which is not good. Reddit Analysis and PFF Metrics also in 2024 reinforced the assessment with their run blocking grade at 30 and their pass blocking grade at 27. The line allowed the fourth worst clean pocket at just under 62% and the fifth lowest rushing success rate at 38.4%. Player Profile ranks this offensive line based on 2024 28th in the league. Draft Sharks also 28th, and then my man Warren Sharp. Remember we've talked about Sharp football analysis. I think Sharp knows what he's talking about. He's got him up at 22, but it's still the lower end of the league. He said they of course they used 11 different offensive line combinations last year. It made it just completely difficult to be competitive. But what is going to change this year? We're back to the wide zone running scheme. So not only have we signed veterans like Cornelius Lucas, the tackle, and Tevin Jenkins, who could play guard. We added those guys to the mix, but we're going back to Kevin Stefanski's wide zone blocking scheme, which it is also called the outside zone. That's what they like to call it. And you stretch the defense horizontally, and it works well for cutback runners. So Judkins and Sampson stretch that thing out and then cut it back, and then you're gone. And so Joe Bitonio confirmed this already. Remember back in training camp, and he said this is one of the big reasons he came back is because they're going back to this. The whole Deshaun Watson thing was square peg, round hole from all sides. So thank God this is what Watson good. People got to quit calling him our fifth quarterback because he's not. He's never, ever, ever playing for us again. But Bitonio said, we're going back to it. He goes, this Jack Conklin, this is his strength. Wyatt Teller, this is his strength. So all of those guys up front love this wide zone blocking scheme, and we had a lot of success with it, and you saw what happened when Flacco was in there for those 5 games. We looked like a real offense for once. And so that is why, the other thing is I hate when they do this stuff when they look at 2024, they base everything on 2024. Same thing happens with fantasy football. When they rank these guys, like they rank it based on last year, but it's like, does anybody look at what have we added? What have we done? Like, why don't they do these rankings based on the moves we made and we're switching to so yeah, they mention it, but they don't factor it into the ranking. So if you're going to do all that, I would put us up in the top 10. So that stuff drives me nuts. But anyway, we're going to be better. The offensive line going to be better. We're going to be blocking a whole lot better. I tell you that much. So with that wide zone running scheme, it is back. Now, don't know if this is going to be better. Dillon Gabriel. He is a rare combination, that's what they call him, of being under 6 foot tall and left-handed in the NFL as a quarterback. He is the shortest left-handed quarterback currently in the NFL and one of the shortest in the league's history. So we got that going for us. Historically, though, short left-handed quarterbacks are extremely rare. Most successful lefties, at least 6'1". There are no prominent examples of sub-6 foot left-handed quarterbacks achieving sustained success in the NFL. Gabriel faces a lot of challenges and a lot of skepticism heading into this, but here are some left-handed quarterbacks for you to take a look at and ponder. Now, Gabriel's 5'11", 202, which is considered below average for an NFL quarterback. Among recent NFL starters, only a few quarterbacks under 6 feet. Russell Wilson, who, of course, won a Super Bowl. Bryce Young and Kyler Murray have found some success. Murray started off like gangbusters. I had him as my fantasy quarterback a few years ago, man. He was money for me, but he's kind of balanced out a little bit. But those guys aren't left-handed. The most notable left-handed NFL quarterback, Steve Young, who was 6'2", Ken Stabler, who was 6'3", and Boomer Esiason, who was 6'5", are all taller than Gabriel. The only other left-handed quarterbacks currently in the NFL are Tua in Miami, Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta, and then Hunter Deckers. And they're all at least 6 feet tall. Deckers is a backup. And so, you know, what they try to sell you on with Gabriel is his quick release and his experience. He can also run a little bit. He scored 7 rushing touchdowns last year. He set the NCAA record for total touchdowns and is second all-time in Division I passing yards. But he also played 6 years. So, like, that has to be factored in. He didn't do it in 4 years, you know. I don't know, 63 college starts across 3, programs. You know, it's supposed to be what sets him apart. But based on the research I've done, boy, oh boy, this is a massive mountain that he is going to climb. And the big reason why so many people are wondering why Grendzynski thought this was a good idea to take Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round, you know. The other thing, everybody compares him to Tua. I think, like, look at how much Tua's gets hurt. I mean, that was so scary. The 2 times he got hit, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said before, I just think that I got to see this. You got to prove me wrong on this. Me and every other Browns fan, except for there's a couple out there who think Gabriel was a good pick. But got to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, because I need to see it to believe it. Who knows? We'll see. Grendzynski, smartest people in the room. But I wanted to find a light at the end of the tunnel, folks, but I couldn't. So if you've got a light at the end of the tunnel for me when it comes to short left-handed quarterbacks, please get it in the viewer comments. We will do a segment on it. If you can find a light at the end of the tunnel for this situation, I'd be happy to use it. Now, what's always a light at the end of the tunnel and what's always successful in the NFL are the viewer comments. And today, we're going to start with Your Name Shatek. I don't know. I could be saying that wrong. I believe Cleveland needs a complete rebrand. Going back to the new stadium. The stadium is a good move, but I believe adopting more into the dog logo or brand will be more appealing. Add some new uniforms. Definitely onto something. Also, trade Dillon to Atlanta and pick up Kyle Pitts. Shed 5 to 7 pounds off of him and make him an ex-receiver. He's Megatron waiting to happen. You know how much I love Pitts, man. Can you imagine that? All right, let's do that. Let's get Pitts in it. But they're not trading Dillon Gabriel. We went over that yesterday. I mean, with the rookie contract, they don't know what they have in him. You're not giving up a quarterback that you don't know what you have yet, and he's on the cheap. So they're not going to. But they could trade picks or somebody. Can you imagine that? You get Pitts in here with Fannin and Njoku. You got the 3 of them, but you're running Pitts like an ex-receiver. But they're going to use Fannin that way too. So that's why I love the whole idea of Pitts coming in the first place. But I love the way you're thinking. Your aim. I don't know. That is another one of those YouTube / it could be either password or a YouTube handle. Okay, EV123. Now she's writing in capital letters, so I think she's yelling at me. She said, "Miles, he or she. Miles is a once-in-a-generation freak. He is nowhere near his back 9." Remember, that's why I said yesterday we talked about windows closing on some of these players on the Browns roster. And, we need to, at some point, start thinking about winning this year and quit drafting for next year. But listen, like I said, Miles, his window's not closing tomorrow, but he's been in the league this is going to be his 9th year. The average lifespan of an NFL player is just over 3 years. For a defensive end, it's about the same. It's like 3.3 for an NFL player, 3.2 for a defensive end. And he's already going into his 9th year. So he's not getting any younger. And so that's why I was reluctant I would have traded him. But he's back, and he looks I don't know. He was very businesslike at training camp, and so we'll see. I mean, he's beating his snowboard border girlfriend in races backwards. So I should say defeating. Remember, there was a problem with the. He can run backwards and still come out victorious against an elite snowboarder who runs forward. All right, so let's go. But that's all I'm saying. Now if this was like the end of his rookie contract or his third year or something, I'd be like, yeah, give him a bag. But it's been around a while, so we'll see. Hopefully, it all works out. All the help on the defensive line should help him as well. Ali Muscle. I've watched Schlesinger. He's exceptional. I've never watched Mason. Only when he played against OSU. We don't watch Michigan in my house. And I said the same thing. Like when he said that, I was cracking up. Because, I watched Ewers go in there and beat Michigan. That's when I fell in love with Ewers. When he went into the big house and smoked them early at the beginning of last college season. But no, everything I read about. So here's the thing: even if you went back and watched those games, Ali Muscle, Mason is going to be used completely different with the Browns because Michigan wanted him to sit back and play to run. The Browns want him up the field and attacking, so they have to double him so Miles can get off on the edge, or Alex Wright or Isaiah McGuire can get off on that other edge, or they need to go try and double them, and Mason Graham can get up the middle and get to the quarterback. So Mason Graham is going to be used completely different than what you saw at Michigan, and he is happy for it. DD, SR, 9XM, that is a password. The best case scenario, and this is what we teased at the top. He's talking about Shedeur here. The best case scenario is that Shedeur is the franchise quarterback and the Browns then use too high first in the next draft to launch the team. 100% agree. But that can't happen if the Browns don't give him a chance and just take another swing at another quarterback in next season's draft. Can the Browns change and do something smart for a change? Well, I said, here's what I like. This is what I'm hoping. Because the Browns, with this whole new stadium, remember I told you, Watson is the one who really got these wheels mowed because they wanted to put him in a dome because he doesn't like the cold or anything. Dynamic player. They thought they had all that, and it was a complete disaster. But what if you have that with Shedeur? You have this dynamic player, and you move into a dome, and you got him in the dome, running around, flinging it, slinging it, doing his thing, and then you use these draft picks on weapons and, more offensive linemen, and you can get younger at some of these other spots. Yes, that is the best case scenario for us, If we don't have to use a pick on a quarterback in next year's draft, yes, best case scenario. If we find our future, right here and now, our franchise quarterback hopefully is in the room right now. And then we'll end on @Schemy TV. He says he's talking about Brown's latest because this is our little show that we like to do. And Schemy TV says, it's not a little show, it's a big show. Keep growing. And I agree. Hey, we're closing it. We're starting to get to 7,000. When we get there, I got to figure out a new fit for the 7,000 subscriber show. But I can't thank you guys enough for checking in every day and hopefully being infotained here on Brown's Latest on YouTube. Appreciate it. But don't forget, more stuff coming. More, custom content, live streams, all kinds. I can't wait to go live and talk to you guys live. That's going to be so awesome. But anyway, okay. Hey, be safe out there. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.